One thing that's always puzzled me is the origin of Professor Ovi Kintobor. What exactly is he, and where did he come from? Before I go on, I just want to say that I'm talking solely about the Sonic the Comic continuity and not any of the other Sonic universes that are out there. With that said, let's move on. In Sonic the Comic issue 1, Sonic and Robotnik are already heated enemies. It's not until we get to issue 9 where Sonic reveals the origin as to how he became blue and how Kintobor became Robotnik. We see for the first time the original Sonic meeting Professor Kintobor. It's in this time period where Sonic and Kintobor become very good friends, even best friends. Remember, this was a time before Sonic met Tails. Sonic is known to be a bit of a joker around his friends, but he always talks to Kintobor with the utmost respect, even when Kintobor reappears later in the comic. Now, let's just look at Kintobor. What does he look like at first glance? If I'd never seen this character before, I'd for certain say he looks like a human. The same facial features as a human, the same skin tone, and yeah, he does have some wild hair, but he even wears human-sized clothing. There is no other character from Mobius that looks remotely similar to Kintobor, unless of course you include the Chiller, but he only appeared in one issue and was never seen or heard from ever again. Kintobor even towers over the other characters with his height, something we know is true for humans when Sonic and the others encounter humans later in the comic, which we will get to soon. So what does this mean for Kintobor? Is he a human, and if he is, what is he doing on Mobius? Well, let's just look at both Earth and Mobius. We know that both Earth and Mobius are two separate worlds. This is something we learned from issue 25 by the Kintobor computer, so there is a possibility that someone could travel from Earth to Mobius. We know this for certain as Colonel Granite and a platoon of troops from Earth crossed planets to Mobius in issue 146. And yes, though that was with the previously forced help with Amy and Techno from the Insane Colonel, I can't see how someone with the scientific knowledge of interdimensional travel couldn't pull this off also. So let's just say that Kintobor is a human and from Earth. Why would he cross planets from Earth to Mobius? Now there are two possible reasons why I think he'll do this. Number 1. This was a complete freak accident via one of his experiments gone wrong. He could have wound up on Mobius by a freak accident with no possible way to return, as he wouldn't have known the coordinates to get back to Earth, or the fact that Mobius has completely different technology to Earth, so it could have been impossible to replicate. It's very possible that Kintobor had a future plan to build an interdimensional gateway back to Earth after he felt he had finished using his scientific knowledge for good on Mobius, but of course with him transforming to Robotnik, this would change everything. Number 2, he actually wanted to go to Mobius. Now this one's a little bit out there, but let's say Kintobor deliberately sent himself to Mobius. Perhaps Kintobor discovered Mobius and he was observing them from Earth. Unhappy with his life, he found enjoyment in watching the peaceful lifestyle of Mobius. With nothing holding him back, he worked night and day, so he could build a device where he could travel dimensions. Maybe he thought he could use his scientific knowledge for the power of good. This is something we know from the Shanazar arc. And from his outlook, he would have certainly thought that someone of his scientific knowledge could have made life easier for the Mobians. So let's look at the evidence that supports that Kintobor came from Earth. You've of course got the human type appearance, and then we have a mention of Earth from the prologue story from issue 25 by the Kintobor computer. Here the Kintobor computer informs us that Earth and Mobius are two separate planets in two totally different places in space. The Kintobor computer gives us very accurate information as if he has previous knowledge of Earth. Now this was probably just done to explain to the reader that Mobius and Earth are two different worlds and to give a brief story to Mobius itself. Now let's look at the evidence that doesn't support the Kintobor Earth theory. Firstly, this isn't mentioned as a possibility or questioned once throughout the entire run of Sonic the Comic. Now this could be because once Kintobor transformed into Robotnik, he forgot these memories from his previous life, or chose to simply ignore them. However, it should be noted that the Kintobor computer never mentioned this either, and the Kintobor computer is a copy of the original Kintobor's brain patterns. It's also interesting to point out that when humans attacked in issue 146, no one said how similar they looked to Kintobor. However, Sonic does say at the end of the story that humans aren't all bad to Johnny after Johnny says that he never wants to see humans again. Now, the real reason why this story was never revealed or told is most likely because the idea never came to Nigel Kitchen, who was Sonic the Comic's main writer, and if he had come up with it, there's no guarantee that Sega would have approved this type of backstory of such an important character. Speaking to an official member of staff from Sonic the Comic, legendary Sonic artist Richard Elson had this to say: I really like the idea about Robotnik being the only human on Mobius who somehow managed to make his way there, probably by accident. I bet we could have got a nice bunch of stories out of that idea and filled in some interesting history for Robotnik. I wish we had thought of that at the time. So there we have it. What do you guys think about this possibility? If Sonic the Comic hadn't have ended, this could well have been a flashback story we could have seen. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below, because at the end of the day there is no wrong or right answers to this. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this Sonic Theory type video, please do let me know and I'll get working on some future Sonic Theory videos on my channel. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves and see you soon.